Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva, Bhakta Bandhav Shri Guru Deva. Jai Sachidanand, Jai Gaura Hari, Jai Sachidanand, Jai Gaura Hari. Jaya Radha Vinandi Hari, Radha Vinandi Hari, Radhe. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Jai Gaurananda, Hare Hare Bol. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vandeham Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupanuga Pravaram Brajarasarasigam Cha Narayanam Tam Prapannam. Shri Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Prasthaya Bhutale Rupanuga Bhaktiram Cha Kripamurti Narayanam. Seva Kunja Vijay Ramya Govardhana Gidosara Radha Kunja Rasanande Tatta Seva Pradayakam. Gurum Narayanakam Tam Vande Vinoda Prashtakam Yat Bhavrasmiti Matrena Damodara Prasidati. Vanchakalupdrugasta Vipasindhu Bhevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshay Kshiptascha Kamarita Rangamanye Kripamayi Tam Saranam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam Bhajami Radha Maravinda Netram Smarami Radha Madhurasmitasyam Vadami Radha Karuna Paradram Dato Mamanyaste Gatirna Kapi Tavaivasmi, Tavaivasmi, Na Jivami Tvayamina, Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantike. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. First of all, after my sister and Pranam, 1,000 times Lord Siddha Shri Paramarada, Guru Paramatma, Vishnu Para, Sastra Shishima, Bhakti Varanta Narayan, Gosai Maharaj, second day for my sister and Pranam, 1,000 times Lord Siddha my Shri Rupanuga Gauri, Guru Bhagavad. And for my sister and Pranam, and those and Guru Vaishnava and Vaishnava. Continuing reading Gurudev Sri Damodarashtaka Damodarashtaka. Gopal, description from Gopal Champu on this by Chief Goswami on this Damodar Lila. So yesterday Chief Goswami was explaining how Yashoda Maya, Yashoda Devi, she went to save the milk because she had more affection for the milk even for Krishna at that time, because that milk was to be used in Krishna's service for the ultimate happiness of Krishna. So ultimately, all the Braj, not that the Brajvasis, they have more affection than the objects than for Krishna in the ultimate sense, but in the momentary sense they have. So it is to be used for Krishna's service. But ultimately everything ends up where? Ends up with Krishna. All their love ends up going to Krishna. By loving the milk, that love is going to Krishna. So, in this way she put Krishna down and Krishna became angry, and then this is how this Damodar Lila has begun. Krishna then goes off and breaks the yogurt part. So this necessity, this feeling of necessity to maintain Krishna and chastise him, this is the integral ingredients of Vatsalya Rasa. Continuing here, he's saying that, and if the residents of Braj feel angry with Krishna out of their affection for him, being the object of their extreme mamata, he is even prepared to undergo bondage. Just see, even fire in the form of lightning sometimes appears in dense rain clouds. In other words, the lightning, it beautifies the rain cloud. So the anger shown in the Brajvasis, like those especially in Vatsalya Rasa, beautifies their Vatsalya Prem. That means they want to feel a need to chastise Krishna if they see him doing something wrong. They're not that they're angry at Krishna, but they're angry at the idea that, oh, Krishna may one day, if I don't correct him, then one day he'll become a dacoit. This idea, this thought that comes into the mind, this causes the anger. They don't want Krishna, they want Krishna to be perfect, happy, always in good character. Therefore they feel the necessity, oh, I should chastise Krishna if he does something wrong. The evidence for the above statement is that both Yashoda and her son benefit each other by their mutual love. Listen as I describe their affectionate dealings. When Mother Yashoda went to take milk off the stove for the pleasure of her son, she first comforted him, saying, "My darling son, may all your problems and difficulties come to me. With this pot of yogurt for just a minute. Watch this pot of yogurt for just a minute while I check on the boiling milk. I will return quickly." Just as swiftly as she put her son aside and left the churning place, she returned, even at that time. Milk poured from her breast out of deep motherly affection, wetting her blouse. It poured so much that it made the floor slippery. Still, Sri Krishna's wishes had been checked, and he was most perturbed. In anger, he bit his trembling reddish lips and burst into tears. Then, picking up a small grinding stone which was lying nearby, he broke the pot of half-churned yogurt. However, he did not even get the slightest bit of butter from it. Poets have described his beauty at that time. Little Krishna's white teeth, a series of moons, were enveloped by the reddish hue reflecting from his lips. His two eyes, resembling restless partridges, were full of tears. His lotus hands shone as they vigorously sloshed yogurt here and there. In this way, when the half-churned yogurt from the pot covered the entire floor, another type of festival manifested. Just then his eyes caught sight of a pot of fresh butter hanging from the ceiling in the adjoining room. He ran to the door, slid the latch aside and pushed it open. Then, moving the door stopper back into place, he slipped into the room and closed the door behind him. He used a nearby cot as a step, lowered the pot of butter, and started to eat it. Thereafter, he took the remaining butter and secretly sneaked out through the window of that room. Meanwhile, Mother Yashoda had stopped the milk from boiling over into the fire. So here, Jiva Goswami says actually he took the butter and he left the room. Sometimes it's described that Krishna is in that very same room on top of the grinding mortar as he's stealing, Mother Yashoda comes. And here Jiva Goswami is given a different version that he steals the butter and actually exits that room through the window. That's why Krishna is an expert in this. Wherever he knows. Like thieves, they're coming through the windows, they leave the windows. So Krishna here also, he came in through the door, but now he's exiting the window. Escaping the scene. Meanwhile, Mother Yashoda had stopped the milk from boiling over into the fire. The milk cooled down into a simmer within seconds, and she took it off the stove. She dashed back to where she had left her son, only to find that he was gone. However, seeing evidence of her son's activity, she laughed in mixed anger and amusement. At first, out of suspicion, she became perturbed. But then Yogamaya manifested an aerial voice, which gave her knowledge and made her laugh. The aerial voice said, feeling hungry and thirsty, a little bumblebee made a hole in the bud of a lotus flower that had no pollen. When he saw that it was merely water that began dripping from that flower, he became disappointed and went to another lotus flower, where he had found a big supply of honey. The import is that in order to get fresh butter, your son performed all these deeds. He first broke the churning pot, but did not find butter there. He then found it hanging in the next room. You have displayed your intelligence by deciding to leave your baby and go cool down the milk. But if you can calm the anger of your child, you will receive even more praise. Upon hearing the aerial voice, Mother Yashoda laughed and followed the thief's conspicuous yogurt footprints to the next room. She managed to force the doors open. Then she stepped inside, only to behold her son's other matchless mischief. Tracing his path of escape, she finally spotted him, his eyes restless with fear. He was thinking, I have just stolen fresh butter. If my mother sees me here, how will I face her? His eyes moved about so frantically that they seemed to be on the verge of leaping into his ears. In other words, his eyes and his ears were watching out for his mother. Other sounds coming too much. Mother Yashoda saw him sitting restless-eyed atop the grinding mortar that he had overturned with all his strength, feeding butter to the monkeys. Astonished by this, she smiled softly. She quickly crept up behind her guilty son. He said that a wealthy person only has 2 eyes, but a thief has 100. That is to say, a wealthy person only has 2 eyes to look after his treasures, but a thief has 100 to spot that person's wealth and steal it. Although a person may be extremely careful to protect his wealth, it is not inaccessible to a thief. We think that we know so much, but it's like sometimes people they think, oh, I am so clever. But they don't realize that other people are just as clever as you, even more clever. It's like a strong person thinks he's really strong. But then there's always someone who's more stronger than him, right? There's always someone who can beat that person. So there is the pride that we sometimes think, oh, I am this, I am that. But there's always something better than you. So even though you think, oh, my wealth is so safe. But the thieves are called thieves for what reason? They know how to steal. They know where you're hiding your wealth. They know how to extract it. This is their job. This is their profession. They know the art of spotting your wealth and finding it. People are clever. Oh, I'll put my money in some place where I'll hide it in blind sight. I'll hide it here and there. But they know all these tricks. They're more clever than you. It's like police investigators who investigate crime. Because they investigate crime on a daily basis, it has become like second nature to them. They begin to think like the criminals. And they learn all the tricks. They go through so many cases, they have so much knowledge, so many examples that nothing is new to them anymore. So when they're investigating a criminal or crime scene, then they know what to look for, and then what are the symptoms, and then they know what symptom indicates what. This way they're able to very easily break down crime scene and catch the criminals and persecute them. It's like there's a science that is called, I forget what's the science called, but basically you study the speech of a person, and by studying the speech of a person you can understand what the person is saying, what activities he has done, what he's going to do, everything. So they use this, they use this for crime cases. Someone has done a crime and they giving a confession or they're giving their testimony. Based on their speech and the testimony, the person can understand if the person did the crime, not only did he do the crime, where he did it, when he did it, how he did it, and what means he did it. It's become such a science. Because they've come to the conclusion that every criminal, in their speech, there's always an embedded confession. Somehow or another, they'll reveal their crime in their speech. It's just the nature, it's the guilty nature of the Atma to confess one's sins. So even when they're trying to hide it, but even when they're lying, through their lying, actually they're telling their whole crime. It's actually a very astonishing science. Then the people who are expert in that, they just by hearing what you're saying, they'll be able to reveal everything what you're saying. So they use that to their benefit. So here, Jiva Goswami has given this example that a wealthy person has 2 eyes, but a thief has 100. He knows where your wealth is. He knows where you're hiding it. So Krishna hears the butter thief. He is the most expert thief. He knows where the Brahmasis are hiding their butter, where they're storing it, everything. And therefore he's going house to house and he's stealing this butter. By nature, monkeys are proud of exhibiting their strength. But today their bellies were fully satisfied. So when they saw Mother Yashoda advancing, holding a stick covered with cloth, they immediately scampered up the nearby trees. This alerted Krishna to what was happening, and he also fled. You go on parikrama, sometimes you see the monkeys, they see you coming, they jump on the tree and they shake. They jump on the electric pole and they shake. So when they show, oh, I am so strong, I am this and that. I am also something. But today the monkeys, they're seeing Mother Yashoda coming, they're running. Now their bellies, they're fully satisfied. It's like the monkeys in Braj. Here, they're very, very happy. People are buying bananas, chickpeas, so many things, bread, they're giving. Why they think, oh, Hanuman Seva. Serving the monkeys like serving Ram, serving Hanuman. And they feed. And so much that sometimes you see there's so much banana on the ground they don't even touch anymore, the monkeys. Only in Vrindavan you can see this thing, Govardhan. Now the monkeys are very, very happy. So they saw Mother Yashoda coming, they ran away quickly. Krishna then realized, oh, my mother is coming. So he began to run also. Seeing her son fleeing, Mother Yashoda broke into a run and began to chase him. A shower of flowers fell from her grave. Oh, king of thieves, she loudly called, where are you going? Stop, stop. Hearing this, Shri Krishna uttered a faint cry and a smile appeared on his face, enchanting his beauty. Mother Yashoda ran quickly after him. So Krishna is, so why he's smiling in his face? Because he's, like when you do something wrong, sometimes some pride comes there. Oh, I've done this wrong thing. I've done this bad thing. My Mother Yashoda, she put me down. She made me upset. Now that I've broken the pot, I've given her back something to her, Now she's happy. Now she's noticed. Now she knows. The next time she will not put me down and leave me. Otherwise, I am capable of doing all this kind of mischief. And this is what Krishna is thinking. His smile has come in his face. Mother Yashoda ran quickly after him, but that smile quickly goes. When the parent catches the child, then no more smile, then crying too much. Oh, why? But the realization comes. Now the beating is going to come. Now the stick's going to come. That time, crying too much to try to avoid the punishment. But doing the mischief, that time very happy. But when I have to face the results, then not so happy, not so much happiness there anymore. The Mother Yashoda ran quickly after him. Although she came close, she could not catch him. It was as if 2 clouds, one big and one small, were being chased by the wind from west to east across the sky. The larger cloud unable to catch up with the smaller one. Similarly, this mother could not catch her son. When the wind is blowing the clouds, the big cloud cannot catch the small cloud. Because the wind is pushing both, but the big cloud is more mass, so how can it catch the lighter, smaller cloud which is running? So Mother Yashoda sees her body is heavy. She's running after Krishna, but she's unable to catch. Here said the footnote said they are both be compared to clouds. Why? Because their complexions are like rain clouds, both. Krishna and Mother Yashoda, they both have this Sham Varna, like a rain cloud. Therefore they seem like two clouds in the sky, going from west to east, chasing each other. Little Krishna was confident that his mother would never pursue him beyond the main gate, for she would then be seen running in public. Therefore he intentionally ran in that direction. Mother Yashoda knew that at that time of the day no one would be outside the gate, so she just kept chasing him. Why is Deepavali? Everyone's in their house, going to their village, going here and there. Everyone's celebrating and preparing for the festival. So she realized, oh, no one is there. She looked first, and then she quickly ran after catch Krishna. As long as Krishna ran without looking back, his mother was unable to catch him. But as soon as he turned his head back in fear, she caught him by his hand. He was running fast, but then, when looking back, then you cannot run so fast, no? As you fall over, you have to slow down. So when he slowed down to turn around, then Mother Yashoda caught him. He frantically moved his eyes about as if trying to continue to run away. As if trying to continue running away. He began crying in an attempt to reduce Mother Yashoda's anger. And out of impotence, he started trembling artificially. But he did not give up his childish plans. So he's crying and then he starts shaking so much, making this drama. As if he's suffering too much. In India, you can see sometimes the children here, they are very smart. They are much more mature than their ages. In the West, you don't see it so much, but here in India, you see it very often. Very small children, and they are very, very intelligent. They can speak so many clever things, and they are years above their age. So Krishna is like this. He's already a small boy, but already he's pretending to tremble, and he's making show and everything. Want to reduce his mother's anger. Whenever she forcefully held his face so that she could look at him in the eye, Shri Krishna turned his face in such a way as to wipe the oily gloss of butter from his mouth and make it look dry. So his mother is trying to look at him, see, but then he's turning his face and he's trying to cover up the evidence. Threatening him, Mother Yashoda said, "Oh Krishna, you have given me so much trouble. Before you steal from your home, first look at this stick in my hand." When she saw her lotus-eyed son's terror upon hearing these words, she Brajeshwari tossed the stick aside. So now Krishna became really afraid. When she mentioned the stick, then he became like, he realized, oh, now beating is coming. But then Mother Yashoda, her heart so soft, seeing his son so terrified, then she threw the stick away. "Don't beat me, Mother," Krishna beseeched her. The queen of Braj scorned him. "But you are a thief, a thief." Laughing to herself, she suddenly and forcefully instigated a quarrel with him. "Ah, you are the king of thieves, Chor." Krishna protested, "No, Mother. Chor took birth in your dynasty, not mine." The editor's footnote says, in the dynasty of Yashoda's father, there was a goat named Chor Ghosh. The literal meaning of Chor is thief. Thus, Shri Krishna denounced Yashoda's dynasty, considering himself to be exclusively to his father's dynasty. So this Gopa, his name was Chor Ghosh. So Chor means thief. So, in your dynasty there's thief, but not in mine. Why would we have a Chor, thief in our home? In this way, Mother Yashoda and her butter-stealing son argued with each other. "Oh, really? Well, who broke the pot of yogurt?" she asked. She again inquired. Krishna replied, "The Supreme Lord, he was punishing you." "But," she continued, "who fed butter to the monkeys?" "He who created them." "No," she exclaimed, "I suspect that you always feast with great relish on the fresh butter we prepare for use in religious sacrifices." Mother Yashoda scolded her son as if she would a thief, but finally her heart softened. She laughed with anger and said, just admit your theft. Give up your arrogance." Why was he caught? Broken pot, his footprints, butter in his mouth, everything. Just admit. Thus pressed by his mother, Shri Krishna burst into tears. "Look, Ma," he sobbed. "When you anxiously ran to save the milk, your ankle bell struck the pot of yogurt and it broke. How is this my fault?" And the monkeys, he continued, were inspired by the Supreme Lord to sneak into the house and steal. When they began taking the butter, I caught them. What did I do wrong? And then he retorted, the stick in your hand frightened me, so even though I am completely innocent, I fled like a thief. You saw I was so afraid, but still you mercifully chased me, all for no reason. And they were saying, I know it looked very bad. Like the monkeys were there, and the butter was being stolen and everything. But in reality, I wasn't doing anything. I was trying to catch the monkeys. And seeing your stick, I understood that you had misunderstood the situation. Therefore I ran and out of fear. But really I am innocent. Mother Yashoda spoke as if lamenting. Oh, you who are the king of those skilled in argument, she said. You are the best of thieves. Although you are the son of Shibraj Raj, the most noble of men, your nature has become like a monkey's because you are fond of them. When fearful Sri Krishna heard this, he pointed to the forest and said, if I am a monkey, then I will live in the forest. Which slightly frightened his mother. She was thinking, oh, Krishna will now leave me, run away and go to the forest. Who knows, she thought. This arrogant boy could easily put his threat into action. To keep him from running into the forest, I must tie him up. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for me to single-handedly manage my household duties and this child. So she thought, oh, maybe is there some truth to what she had? Some doubt came in her mind. Is there some truth to her what he's saying? Is it really that he may run to the forest? Then she felt like doubtful. Okay, I better tie him. Because otherwise, how will I be able to do my household duties at the same time be worrying about him that he's going to run away? Actually, young children, they do this actually. I remember when we were in Gurukul in Australia, that sometimes we were in Gurukul, we used to run from the Gurukul. We used to go here and there and do all these kind of things. For no reason at all. Oh, just like we want to get away from here, then all day running away from school in the forest here and there. Then people would send so many people searching here and there. It's like for no reason. So Krishna, if he's saying I run to the forest, then Mother Yashoda think, oh, maybe he will run. Children, they sometimes say, what they'll do, there's no guarantee. Why? The children have no mind, no sense. Anything they can do. They may run away, they might do this, may do that. They do stupid things. So Krishna is saying, because he's saying, I will go to the forest. So then Mother Yashoda, oh, maybe there's some truth, and maybe he may go to the forest. So, turning to Krishna, she openly said, you thief, you restless boy, you who bewilder one and all by the charm of your flickering eyes, why don't you simply accept my prohibitions? Look, I will tie you up and then quickly return to the house. If you have any strength left, you can show it to me by trying to steal something else. As she started to bind him, his eyes became moist, and in fury he began to loudly cry out, oh, Mother Rohini, he shrieked, where have you gone with my big brother? Because you are not here today, this mother is tying me up, quickly come. Now he's calling for Rohini. Oh, you come save me. Where are you? You think, oh, Mother Rohini's heart will be soft, she will come and give me some protection. Since he's trying to reason with Yashoda and Mother Yashoda, but she's seeing Mother Yashoda is not coming to any reason. Now he's calling out for Rohini. Since Rohini was far away, she could not hear his cries. But the ladies from neighboring homes who had previously complained about Krishna and who had chastised him did hear his cries. They informed each other of the fun and assembled there. As if taunting her, they reminded Yashoda of their complaints. Has this thief done something mischievous in your home also? They laughed. Why? Because before they used to come and say, oh, Krishna is stealing butter, this and that. They would even try to catch Krishna and bring him. But it always failed. Mother Yashoda never really believed them. But now, they're saying, oh, this thief is now stolen from your house. And they're saying, see, we were telling the truth before. You didn't believe her. But now, you see, he's even stealing from your own house. Mother Yashoda, however, was bent on teaching her son a lesson. So she paid no heed to their remarks. Snatching up a silk ribbon that had fallen from her braid, she immediately began binding her son's waist to a grinding mortar, lying in the courtyard, with the same persistence it takes to bind the neck of a calf. But that silk ribbon was 2 fingers too short. You try to bind any animal, you try to put a collar on them, they're always resisting, they don't want. Why? Because they don't have hands. Then they can't take it off, right? Once their collar is loose or the collar's on their neck, then they're stuck. So they always resist. So in order to bind the calf, you have to be a little persistent. You don't give up just on the first try or the second try. You have to do it till you get it. So Mother Yashoda is now also trying to bind Krishna. The same persistence means she wants to bind Krishna. I'm definitely going to bind Krishna. But that silk ribbon was 2 fingers too short. She took another ribbon from her hair and joined it to the first one. But still the same problem confronted her. Amazed, she then tried to bind Krishna's waist with several churning ropes that the gopis handed her. But still Rajeshwari could not make up the gap of 2 fingers. From a distance, a cloud that is actually touching the peak of a mountain may be mistakenly perceived as being quite far beyond it. In a similar sense, although the full length of rope was actually touching Sri Krishna, he could not bind his apparently tiny waist. The rope was always 2 fingers too short. So sometimes you may see, oh, the cloud is touching the mountain, but actually it is. Oh no, it's touching it, but it actually is far away. It seems, oh, it is very close, but it is far. Like even a mirage, you think, oh, it's very nearby, but actually it is always out. It is out of your reach, because it's the optical illusion is there. Observing this, the ladies of Braj laughed and remarked, "Oh, Brajeshwari, we already told you that this boy surely has some extraordinary illusory potency. On account of it, he even surpasses Kap Halak, the foremost among thieves. He seems to be satisfied simply by eating stolen goods, or by such acts he delights both the donors of those goods and the enjoyers of them. He is gradually gaining quite a reputation as one who steals another's possessions." Here in the footnote it said that just as the cloud may appear to be far beyond the mountain's peak when seen from a distance, it appeared to everyone present there that there was so much rope being used to bind Sri Krishna that it could not possibly have all been touching his waist. However, just as the cloud actually touching the mountain, the full length of the rope was actually touching Sri Krishna's waist. But no length of rope could equal the actual circumference of his waist, because the truth is, it is unlimited. As far as this Kab Halak, he must be some very famous thief, but he is not mentioned in the footnote who he is, but might be some very famous thief who is there, notorious in Vedic history. Jiva Goswami has quoted his name here. And he would even, the gopis are saying, even he is more than this Kab Halak. He's such a thief. Mother Yashoda responded, "What does this recently born child know about being a thief? He does not know good from bad, but it seems that you are the ones who know some evil trickery. Although you actually favor him externally, you behave in a contrary way." So, even though externally you seem to, he's saying that externally you are now behaving in a contrary way. If you are speaking against him, you're calling him a thief. But in reality, how is he a thief? He's so innocent. He don't know really what is good, what is bad. He's such a small child. How can we call him a thief? At this, the ladies laughed. "Oh, respected Sri Yashoda," they say, "we take an oath at your feet that we have nothing to do with these astonishing powers." Finally, Yashoda reasoned, as Sri Gargacharya said, "Surely some potency of Sri Bhagavan surrounds my son. This infant boy cannot know what he is doing." Just to put an end to this bewilderment, Yashoda repeatedly called for more and more churning ropes from the homes of those gopis. Despite her persistence in her endeavor to bind her son, she could not find any way to accomplish that seemingly impossible task. Instead, Yashoda, the queen of Braj, dripped with perspiration, and curls of hair fell over her face again and again. Finally, she became completely exhausted. As long as Sri Krishna, who was born in the Yadu dynasty, stubbornly refused to be bound, Mother Yashoda's persistent efforts were fruitless. Just as one whose fate is grasped by an unfavorable star is always unsuccessful in his endeavors. In other words, if it is not in your chart, not in your bhagya, in your fortune to achieve something, doesn't matter how much you try, it will always evade you. So similarly, Krishna, it was not in Yashoda's fate to bind Krishna. Therefore, she was always being unsuccessful. Finally, Shri Krishna's heart was touched by the sight of his mother being so overwhelmed, and almost immediately she successfully bound him with the 2 ribbons she had initially used from her hair. It was clear to all present that it was only these 2 ribbons that bound Shri Krishna. The other ropes she had used to tie him simply lay there. It was actually Shri Krishna's maidservant, his Yogamaya potency, who had understood his mind and accomplished the task of binding him. This made Mother Yashoda feel that all those astonishing activities of Shri Krishna were an illusion. When the rope was finally tied tightly around Shri Krishna's waist, Mother Yashoda knotted it to another long rope, which she tied around the middle of the grinding mortar. In other words, she first tied the ribbon around his waist, then she tied another rope to that ribbon around the grinding mortar. So Jiva Goswami is clarified here. She had taught her son Krishna a lesson by tying him up, and thus showed him how unmoved she could be by his stubbornness. To protect him, she seated the other little boys around him and happily went inside with the giggling gopis to complete her household chores. She tied him up, then the other suckers and boys she put there. Okay, now you play together here. And they went inside. So we'll finish here and touch on some Kusumanjali. We'll continue tomorrow. This is verse 8. I'll repeat and you repeat after me. Devi Dukkha Kula Sagarodare Duyamana Ati Durgatam Janam Tvam Kripa Prabala Nauka Yadbhutam Prabhaya Swa Pada Pankajalayam. O Devi, please rescue this unfortunate person drowning in an ocean of pain. Place him on the strong boat of your mercy and carry him to the wonderful realm of your lotus feet. Srila Gurudev's commentary. The fire burning in Das Goswami's heart. We have discussed that there are 2 kinds of prema bhakti. One is sambhog and the other is vipralamba. And without vipralamba we cannot enter into raganuga bhakti. There are 2 types of bhav in raganuga bhakti, and especially in ragatmik bhakti. 1. Sarak Uchitta Bhav, and 2. Siddha Uchitta Bhav. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and all the 6 Goswamis have both. In a Sarak Bhav, he is Raghunath Das Goswami. When he is praying to Srimati Radhika, we can understand that he is in Siddha Bhav. If a person has thick greed, then even in his Sadak body, he can also pray like this. And he should pray like this. In other words, even though if you're not Siddha, but you are Siddha, simply a Sadhak, should pray like the Siddhas. Repeat their prayers. Have a greed for that mood. And then, some of that bhav, by their mercy, may manifest in your heart. If a person has Siddha bhav, if internally he is already situated in his Siddha Swarup, then he can pray in his Siddha Swarup also. Dukkha Kula Sagaro Dare. Raghunath Das Goswami is feeling that he is drowning in an ocean of misery. What is his misery? He is thinking, I am not seeing Srimati Radhika. His unhappiness lies in the obstacles that are preventing him from obtaining her darshan. Our obstacles are different. We want to keep our minds always thinking of Srimati Radhika's seva, but we are unable to do so. For example, there are so many duties we must perform. Sometimes we are attacked by illness. There are so many obstacles in our continuous remembrance, and we are unable to remove them. This is our misery. A person may be in somewhat higher grade of bhakti, but he may not have the sangha association which he can hear or speak about these subjects. He has no real asakti, as described in Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Madhurya Kadambini. He has no asakti in bhava avastha. Duyamana mati durgatam janam. Here, duyamana means immense distress. A fire is burning in the heart of Raghunath Das Goswami. He is hankering. I am not taking darshan of Srimati Radhika of Braj. We go to Braj, but we are not in Braj, Vrindavan. We go to Radhakund, but we are not at Radhakund. In our present condition, we have no real greed. But those who are Siddha, who realize all these things, suffer greatly. There will be some imitation in our hearts, but there is no possibility at all of imitation in theirs. In other words, their prayers are genuinely coming from their heart. We try to imitate, we try to follow in the footsteps of Guru Varga. And sometimes we are able to pray and with some mood. And sometimes we are praying and there is no mood at all. But our Guru Varga, when they prayed, it is always full of deep lamentation, deep mood. Srimati Radhika can really weep for Krishna, but it is very difficult for us to weep for him. Here Raghunath Das Goswami is realizing the misery of not seeing or serving Srimati Radhika. We can also weep that at present we have no chance to enter this Raganuga Bhajan in any way. It may be that a sadhak will have darshanam Radhika, as in Purvarag. Although he is not seeing Radhika, Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari or Krishna, a sadhak can have Purvarag. That is separation before meeting. At present we might experience Purvarag Abhas, a semblance of Purvarag. We might, if it will enter our hearts, we should understand ourselves to be very fortunate. In other words, even before meeting with Radha and Krishna, if you feel some separation for them, then you can understand this is some Abhas. Some Abhas of Purvarag. And your life is very successful. If that, even if a semblance of that mood comes to your heart. Because real Purvarag is experienced when? Only when Prema awakens. It's not possible to experience Purvarag in this sadhak body. But if we can experience a semblance of that, then we should consider ourselves very fortunate. But it should be Shuddha, pure, not imitation. Even that Abhas would be very good. In the early morning, the sun is about to rise and the darkness is going away. This is Abhas. Means you cannot see the sun, but there is already light in the sky. That is called Abhas. It means the sun is just about to manifest. In other words, very soon, the sun itself will be there. So in Purvarag Abhas, means this is the stage just before that true Purvarag or that flame is manifesting in the heart. That means very soon now, all success and perfection will come. Similarly, if we experience that Abhas, we will be so fortunate. Our suffering, however, is that certainly we are in total darkness. And we can only cry for all our anarthas and aparads to go away. And to have real greed. This is our problem. Tvam kripa prabhala nauka yad bhutam. Raghunath Das Goswami is praying to Radhika. I am drowning in an ocean of unhappiness. In this world I see no hope at all. I can only see your mercy. Srimati Radhika's mercy is like a very good boat. And it is Adbhutam, wonderful. How wonderful is her mercy. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been stated that the mercy of Krishna's lotus feet is like a boat. If we need this boat, it will come to our shore. If we simply take that boat within our minds, we will see that we have gone across the ocean of material existence. That in other words, if you accept Krishna's mercy, then easily we can cross over this ocean of suffering. Although the boat is still lying on this side as it waits for others to cross, still we have crossed over to the other side. Srimati Radhika's kripa is even greater than that. We see in the Brihad Bhagavatam that Gopkumar took birth in Braj and was practicing bhakti there. And Srimati Radhika sent her near and dear associate Jayanta to be his guru. That means which Braj in this prophet Braj? He was a Gopa, Brajvasi. Then Radhika sent Jayanta to deliver him. If one is very simple-hearted and has great ruchi for his bhajan, then Radhika may send one of her associates. Or she or Krishna may even come themselves. This is the kripa of Srimati Radhika. Prabhaya swapada pankajalayam. So I pray to you that by your mercy I can get the seva of your feet. I see no other way. We'll finish here today and we'll continue tomorrow. Gaur Brahmananda Hare 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 Bo Jai Shri Guru Padma Ki Jai Guru Parampara Ki Jai Satchidananda Gaur Hare Ki Jai Saparshada Gaur Hare Ki Jai